Good morning, everybody. Today I would like to tell you a little bit about our research, being the observational study on cross-cultural differences in living lab research. So this is a research protocol and a pilot we already performed. We see that living lab research is increasingly globalizing. We're seeing more researchers in living labs in Europe working together. We're also seeing more living labs emerge all over the world. And cross-cultural differences are very relevant for living lab research, both because they're very interesting for the innovations that are being tested and supported themselves. For example, an app might need to look very differently in Belgium as opposed to the US or India. But cross-cultural differences can also be a confounding factor. They can influence data collection and data analysis. Group sessions are generally viewed as a culturally sensitive methodology because it allows you to gain insight into diverging and converging opinions of the different individuals in the session. However, which individuals are present in the session can also influence the outcomes of the session. In certain countries, individual characteristics such as gender or age can influence how open people contribute to the research. We know this based on existing theory, but also through the large survey study that we did last year. So we did a large survey study in many international living labs to collect their beliefs and opinions about cross-cultural differences. So therefore, we now wanted to collect data on actual participation and contribution of participants in user-centered research in relation to individual characteristics and the region where these individuals live. We want to do this by working together with living labs from all over the world. So we want to add a little element to their standard research. And they will also get a report on their local end users that will help them optimize their research as well. So we're working with planned group sessions. We're not asking to plan individual sessions for our research specifically, but we will add some elements to an existing design. The contents or participants of this design are completely irrelevant to us. We just want to see how the group dynamics are. So this might be what a standard design of a group session in living lab research looks like. So you make a study design, you recruit individuals, you organize a session, and you analyze your results. So what we would like to add is first, obviously, an informed consent so that participants know that they are also participating in our research. Then we would like to have an observer present in the group session, and this person can complete an observational checklist to see what sort of group dynamics are at play in the session. And after the session, we would also like to ask the participating end users to complete a questionnaire on their motivations for participation, on how they feel in relation to other individuals of the session, and so on. We also performed a pilot before Corona started, obviously, to get some insight into whether the protocol was feasible and to get some first data. So we collected data from a group session in 9 Belgian Caucasian female participants. The session was moderated by 2 moderators, and the results showed that they had a facilitating stance. And the results showed that participants were motivated to participate for being appreciated or learning new things, so more of an intrinsic motivation. And this was the case in all of them. Most were also interested to be able to help others or society, and about half of them was also interested in the topic or innovation. We saw some individual differences in this session, being that older participants were more active as opposed to their younger counterparts. And we also saw that professional status influenced participation. There was 1 student and 8 actual workers in a care home. And we saw that the student was overall less active in the group sessions, but when we split up in smaller groups, this individual became a lot more active. So this is very interesting information. We also saw that the protocol was very feasible to add to an existing study. And we also made some changes with regards to some questions that weren't entirely clear for participants. So to conclude, we think that in order to get high quality representative international data, protocols need to be optimized to take into account these cross-cultural differences. Our study and the observational and self-report data that we will collect will help inform us of critical differences that are relevant for data collection. And our ultimate goal is to be able to design international research protocol with good standardization and reproducibility, but also sufficient flexibility to account for these cross-cultural differences and make sure that everybody in the session can give their honest and open opinion. Our next step is to reboot our recruitment because it is of course had to stop due to the pandemic, which means that group sessions are not allowed to be organized in many countries. So we will reboot as soon as possible. And if you're interested in participation, do not hesitate to contact me. We are very interested to get more living labs to participate in our study. So since you're not able to see me at this point, I would like to introduce myself and obviously the team because I'm not doing this alone. So you can see us here. I was Nele de Witte, and this research is mainly organized by LiCalab with the help of Thomas More University of Applied Sciences and University of Brazil. So I would like to thank you for your attention and to listen to our session, and I will be very happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.